for him. Yeah, yeah. Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, that's me yourself again. Yeah, okay. Okay, today's lesson is designed to help us explore how the philosophical, yeah, and psychological the insights of two influential thinkers, yeah, Bernard Russell, yeah, Bernard Russell and Eric, yeah, Fromm. You know, if you know, yeah, okay, yeah, yeah, they have contributed to the foundational thinking behind the modern cognitive science. So we'll also take a look at the key figures who formally established the field as an interdisciplinary science. So that yeah, let's begin. The Russell and Fromm, while they are not considered formal founders of cognitive science, their ideas have had a lasting impact on how we think about the mind. Okay, just a moment. Just beginning. Okay, sorry. Yeah, so you just only the thinker uh, and the field and the contribution and the notable works, etc. It's just read only. Yeah. And then Russell's works help us to understand the logical architecture of a thought, or from begins in the emotional and the social dimensions of cognition, yeah, both of the which are essential to a well-rounded view of the mind. Okay. Wow, it's so hot today. It's humid. Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And then now let's shift to the scholars who are formally recognized as the founders of cognitive science. Yeah, these individuals helped shape the fields as we know it today. Yeah. Herbert Simon, yeah, Alan Newell, Noam Chomsky, David Marr, Ulrich Nisser. You, if you know these peoples, no, yeah, yeah. Noam Chomsky is so yeah. He is very famous yeah people. So yeah, and you have to just do your own research. So this man, okay. So these thinkers brought together insights from psychology, computer science, linguistics, and neuroscience to create a new unified approach to studying the mind. Okay, so why uh, are we reading the Conquest of Happiness? Is a course like this? Yeah, because versus reflections on emotion and attention and motivations and self awareness aligns closely with the core themes of the cognitive science. Okay, yeah. So and because both Russell and Fromm, yeah, they encourage us to think critically, yeah, reflect deeply, and approach learning from the multiple perspective. So that as we read, keep in mind that Russell was a British scholar, yeah, so that yeah his writing his writing uses just British spelling, and so in this British also so words that like realize not z as e, okay, yeah. Owners is also the re. Okay. Analysis is also the not I y, yeah, for example, is yeah, okay, it's not a typo, so the, okay. Yeah, so, but standard UK English. So yeah. More importantly, his style, the distinctly British way of reasoning. Okay, so formal, layered, and often subtly ironic. Yeah. So that this is part of the learning experience. Okay. Yeah, today we begin our journey into the mind of one of the 20th century's most influential thinkers. Okay, yeah, Bertrand Russell. So yeah, and yeah, Russell wasn't just a scholar. He was also a social reformer and peace activities. Yeah, he was imprisoned for his anti-war first. Okay, yeah. So it stands during World War One, later became a vocal critic nuclear weapons. Okay, yeah, his life was a blend of religious logic and yeah, deep moral conviction. So yeah, now let's talk about what makes Russia's writing too distinctive. Clarity and precision. He believed that philosophy should be accessible, accessible even when distinguishing complex ideas. His writing is lucid and direct. Yeah, so and then yeah, British English. Yeah, since Russell was British, so his works use British spelling. Yeah, and you will see words like etc. Yeah, and philosophical depth with literary grace. Yeah, his essays are logical but also elegant, so that uh, often with a poetic rhythm. This print is also yeah ironic and wit. Yeah, Russia's humor is subtle and often ironic. He critiques dogma and social norms with a cool, rational tone. And yeah, humanistic focus. Many of works explore happiness, morality, and the human condition, not just the abstract logic. Okay, yeah, it's a very practical. Yeah, reading Russell will not only depend your understanding of philosophical ideas, yeah, it will also yeah expose you to the rhetorical and the logical patterns of British academic writing. Yeah, so that this is especially valuable if you are preparing for studies in cognitive science. Yeah, where clear thinking and structured arguments are essential. Yeah, so the okay. As we read the Conquest of Happiness, remember you are not just reading a book. Okay, yeah, you are engaging with the mind and help to shape the way we think about thinking. And then yes, yeah, if you see a word that looks okay, yeah, misspelled, check the British yeah, red pen. Okay. Yeah, okay, let's get started. Yeah, and then read each paragraph out loud, and I ask a question. Try to find the answers in the text and share your thoughts, please. Okay, the page of the chapter. Yeah. Okay. Oh, oops. Yeah, let's go. So, the first paragraph. You ready? Thank you. Yeah, please. Mhm. Well, so gorgeous. Thank you so much. Nice. Okay. Yeah. So the yeah, why are human open happy even when their basic needs are met, unlike animals? So yeah, what do you think? Okay. Mm.
animals only have their instincts,
Yeah.
and when they have food and shelter, they just feel safe.
Yeah.
But humans are more complex. They can think, um, and they need more than
Hmm.
instincts,
Yeah.
like
For
uh,
example.
belonging.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah, yeah. That's right. Yeah.
yeah, I just remember the
Hmm.
Maslow's hierarchy triangle,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
and there's like amazingness is the first
Hmm.
step, and it goes up. Human is like I don't know, recognition and
Yeah,
belongingness and all the other things. I think the most important thing is having relationships
that's right.
because humans are social animals.
Yeah, right. Yeah, absolutely. That's great. Yeah. Okay. So, what does this suggest about the role of cognitive awareness and emotional well-being?
um, I think
Yeah.
uh, when people uh, don't need their emotional support or well-being,
Yeah,
um, they feel very depressed, and
that's right.
they, uh, even though they have all their needs, uh, they're not happy.
That's great. Okay. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's right. Human beings won't feel so to be yeah, but in the modern world they are not. Yeah, at least in a great majority of cases,
Mhm.
make yourself receptive to the moods of those whom you meet in the course of an ordinary day, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. And then yeah. Okay. Next paragraph, please.
A mark in every face and bend, marks of weakness, marks of woe, says Blake. Though the kinds are different, you'll find that unhappiness meets you everywhere. Let us suppose that you're in New York, the most typically modern of great cities. Stand in a busy street during working hours, or on the main thoroughfare at a weekend, or at a dance of an evening. Empty your mind of your own ego, and let the personalities of the strangers about you take possession of you one after another. You'll find that each place different because has its own trouble. In the work hour crowd, you will see anxiety, excessive concentration, dyspepsia, lack of interest in anything but the struggle, incapacity for play, unconsciousness of their fellow creatures.
Mhm.
On the main road at the weekend, you will see men and women all comfortably off, and some very rich, engaged in the pursuit of happiness. This pursuit is conducted by all the uniform pace of the slowest car in the procession. It is impossible to see the road for the cars or the scenery, since looking outside would cause an accident. All the occupants of all the cars are absorbed in the desire to pass other cars, which they cannot do on account of the crowd.
Yeah.
If their minds wander from this preoccupation, as will happen occasionally to those who are not themselves driving,
Mhm.
unutterable boredom seizes upon them and stamps their features with trigger discontent.
Mhm.
Once in a way, carloads of colored people will show genuine enjoyment, but will cause indignation by erratic behavior and ultimately get into the hands of the police owing to an accident.
Mhm.
Enjoyment in holiday time is illegal.
Okay, that's right. Yeah, this is Russia's yeah, typical style. You which yeah. Okay. So yeah, it's insightful, right? Yeah. How does yeah observation of the empathy reveal the emotional tone of society, and what cognitive mechanisms allows us to detect unhappiness in others?
Um, I think
Hmm.
everyone is self-absorbed
Hmm.
and they don't care about other people.
Yeah.
Um, and when they care, it causes
Yeah,
accident.
that's right.
um,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. How about your father or your brother? Or the brother?
I have a
Yeah.
sister.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, you have a sister.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay, so yeah, Rosa, yeah, encourages reading emotional states through observation as skill linked to empathetic attunement and the theory of mind, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, our brains, yeah, our brains simulate others the emotions via how can the mirror neuron system, right? Yeah. Okay. So this underpins technologies like effective computing and the emotional AI, yeah, used in customer service and mental health tools to interpret the facial cues, maybe. Yeah, yeah. So it's related to very closely. Okay. Yeah. If you have the other opinion about that, uh, this phenomenon about yeah, this text. Yeah. Everything okay.
I think
Mhm.
it describes the houses are generally
Oh yeah.
very full
Mm-hmm.
and empty.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think before
Mm-hmm.
people try to engage to each other and make relationships,
Yeah, yeah.
but here
Mm-hmm.
everyone's is so busy.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, the life, especially in the very complex this city, big cities. Yeah,
Yes.
it's the same thing. Yet, I think it's they just how can I say they just be sticked. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that's right. Okay, thank you so much. Personal personal opinion. So, okay, next to the other paragraph, three.
Or
Okay.
again, watch people at a gay evening, all come determined to be happy with a kind of grim resolve with which one determines not to make a fuss at the dentist. It is held that drink and padding are the gateways to joy, so people get drunk quickly and try not to notice how much their partners disgust them. After a sufficient amount of drink, men begin to live and to lament how unworthy they are, morally, of the devotion of their mothers. All that alcohol does for them is to liberate the sense of sin, which reason suppresses in saner moments.
Okay. So the what does Russia's critique of social yeah, gatherings suggests about the cognitive effects of first. Just a moment. Yes. Yeah, okay. Yeah, effect of first joy and emotional dissonance.
So people are nowadays kind of designed to be happy by drinking
Yeah, yeah.
alcohol,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that's not how real enjoyment comes.
Yeah.
And Russell
Mm-hmm.
said when they are drunk,
Yeah.
they start to
Mm.
express their sin.
That's right.
Uh, I think that's true.
Yeah. And his approach point is very interesting. Right? You agree? Okay. Yeah. That's right. Yeah. This illustrates effective the forecasting error. Yeah. Overestimating the happiness certain events, yeah, will bring. So that it also reflects the emotional dissonance where people act contrary to how they feel. Yeah, often seen in customer-facing jobs. So CBT, the CBT, CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. Yeah, CBT helps individuals uh, um, realign behavior and emotion. Yeah, so that more authentically and emotional intelligence. The training is now used in the hospitality and the yeah leadership programs, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You can. You will the develop the this program, maybe,
Uh-huh.
yeah, in the future. So then maybe I think yeah, you are very famous people. So that yeah, I sometimes some people say too, yeah, he's my please. Okay, and yeah, paragraph 4, please.
The causes of these various kinds of unhappiness is lie partly in the social system,
Mhm.
partly in individual psychology, which of course is itself to a considerable extent a product of the social system. I have written before about the changes in the social system required to promote happiness. Concerning the abolition of war, of economic exploitation, of education inequality and fear, it is not my intention to speak in this volume.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. So, what does Russell imply about the reciprocal relationships between social systems and the psychological health?
When people's psychological health improves,
Yeah.
then then the social system will change.
Hmm.
Um, like he said, to promote happiness,
Yeah.
there should be no war, no
Mhm.
economic exploitation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a very important, yeah, essential is essential in our life, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah. So he highlights how individuals' yeah, mental states are shaped by broader societal structures and paralleling ecological psychology and socio-cognitive theory. So that modern interventions in urban planning, social policy, and education reflected this. For example, the reducing inequality to enhance public well-being, as shown in WHO and OECD studies about this. Yeah. So okay, you have the other comment? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Move to the paragraph 5, please.
To discover a system for the avoidance of war is a vital need for our civilization. But no such system has a chance
Mhm.
while men are so unhappy that mutual extermination seems to them less dreadful than continued endurance of the light of day. To prevent the perpetuation of poverty is necessary if the benefits of machine production are to accrue in any degree to those most in need of them. But what is the use of making everybody rich if the rich themselves are miserable?
That's good. Okay. So yeah, why does Russell question the utility of solving structural problems if inner misery persists, and how is this supported by modern well-being research?
Um, so I think
Hmm.
solving poverty problem would improve people's unhappiness to a certain amount of level.
Yeah,
But I heard that when they reach certain limits of wealth, they
that's
no
right.
longer feel happiness.
Yeah,
So that's why rich people don't feel happy because uh, they already achieved the limits and they
yeah,
don't know
yeah.
how to really feel the happiness.
Hmm. That's a good point. Yeah, okay. I think so. Yeah, so yeah, this aligns with the findings from positive psychology. Yeah, so the wealth increases the happiness only up to a point.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So the after basic needs are met, subjective well-being depends on more on meaning. Yeah. So autonomy and relationships. Yeah, so the politics now include the gross national happiness. For example, Bhutan. You know that? Okay, yeah. Or well-being budget New Zealand, for example. Yeah. That consider psychological, yeah, the mm, for example, so maybe metrics now, yeah, just GDP. Yeah, okay, yeah, yeah. So okay, yeah, continue the next paragraph.
Education in cruelty and fear is bad, but no other kind can be given by those who are themselves the slaves of these passions. These considerations lead us to the problem of the individual. What can a man or woman here and now, in the midst of our nostalgic society, do to achieve happiness for himself or herself? In discussing this problem, I shall confine my attention to those who are not subject to any extreme cause of outward misery.
Okay. So how does education in fear and cruelty perpetuate unhappiness, and what role does emotional modeling play in the shaping learners?
Um, I think
Hmm.
education, uh, people should have their own desire to learn something, not by forced by others to learn.
Yeah.
Um, I think in Korea,
Hmm.
Korean education system,
Yeah, yeah.
um, everyone's like just memorizing um, textbooks and
That's right. Yeah. It's so weird.
yeah,
Yeah,
they don't really understand what they're learning.
that's right.
Yeah,
Exploit the system. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, absolutely.
and the high school environment is so competitive that um, students don't make their real
Mm,
friends,
yeah.
but try to win each other, and I think it causes unhappiness.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's a very serious
Uh-huh.
problem. So, recently the in Busan,
Uh-huh.
yeah, the
Oh,
yeah triggers.
horrible.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's very shocked. Okay, right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, this reflects the principle of emotional uh, contagion.
Uh-huh.
Contagion. The children learn emotional habits from adults through
Mm-hmm.
mirror learning and attachment to the bonds,
Uh-huh.
right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So the SEL, SEL, a social and emotional learning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. It's a program emphasizes the emotional relationships and empathy in schools,
Uh-huh.
yeah, and showing strong long-term outcomes. So, right? Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a very, very concerns about. I also think, yeah. Right. Okay. Thank you. So, and the next paragraph, 7.
I shall assume a sufficient income to secure food and shelter, sufficient health to make ordinary bodily activities possible. I shall not consider the great catastrophes, such as loss of all one's children or public disgrace.
Mhm.
There are things to be said about such matters, and they are important things, but they belong to a different order from the things I wish to say. My purpose is to suggest a cure for the ordinary day-to-day unhappiness from which most people in civilized countries suffer, and which is all the more unbearable because, having no obvious external cause, it appears inescapable. I believe this unhappiness to be very largely due to mistaken views of the world, mistaken ethics, mistaken habits of life, leading to destruction of that natural zest and appetite for possible things upon which all happiness, whether of man or animals, ultimately depends. These are matters which lie within the power of the individual, and I propose to suggest the changes by which its unhappiness, with an average good fortune, may be achieved.
Yeah. So, okay. What does Russell identify as the main cause of day-to-day unhappiness, and how does this relate to cognitive distortions?
Um, there is actually no
Yeah.
uh, obvious external cause,
Mm-hmm.
and that makes people more miserable
Yeah.
because they don't know how to fix their unhappiness.
Yeah.
Um, um, I think people feel like their unhappiness is uh, just permeated in their whole lives.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but he said that their unhappiness is due to the mistaken views of the world
That's right.
and ethics,
Yeah, yeah.
and if they change their habits,
Mm-hmm.
maybe they can achieve their happiness.
Yeah. Okay. That's right. Yeah, Russell targets cognitive distortions. Yeah, so misguided beliefs about self and life that reduce joy.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this underlies the CBT. CBT. Yeah, it's the which teaches individuals to replace a harmful thought
Mm-hmm.
and parents with realistic, yeah, and constructive ones. Okay, yeah. So in practice, many self-help platforms and therapy models, for example, the REBT, ACT, yeah, work to dismantle such distortions, right? Yeah. So that. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so paragraph 8,
Mm-hmm.
please.
Perhaps the best introduction to the philosophy which I wish to advocate will be a few words of autobiography.
Mm-hmm.
I was not born happy. As a child, my favorite hymn was "Weary of earth and laden with my sin."
Mm-hmm.
At the age of 5, I reflected so far that if I should live to be 70, I had only endured a 14th of your life.
Yeah.
And I felt the long spread out boredom ahead of me to be almost unendurable.
Yep.
In adolescence, I hated life and was continually on the verge of suicide, from which, however, I was restrained by the desire to know more mathematics.
Mm-hmm.
Now, on the contrary, I enjoy life. I might almost say that with every year that passes, I enjoy more.
Okay. Yeah. So, how does Russell's childhood reflect early cognitive bias and depressive cognition?
Um, when he was
Mm.
child,
Yeah.
he was super depressed,
Yeah.
and he only thought about having suicide.
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh,
yeah,
my. Yeah.
but now he somehow find the enjoyment from
Yeah.
mathematics
Mm.
and said he's enjoying his life more and more.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know how
Yeah.
he found the desire for mathematics.
Okay. Uh, yeah. So, how about you? If you know your your younger life is was the happy or the yeah
I think until
yeah
when I was 7.
you 7
Yeah,
okay
after that,
so busy
yeah.
yeah okay that's right so okay yeah cognitive science yeah they just they just did the research about the yeah this part or yeah
Mhm.
so yeah sure various parts but yeah sometimes it's
Uh-huh.
usually the human yeah
Uh-huh.
so do you have the interest of the human being
Oh yeah.
oh yeah
Uh-huh.
oh that's great nice okay so you have to do you have to read the book whole book okay
Okay.
yeah and also the other books is yeah I recommended these books also.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a
Oh.
yeah. His also so very yeah nice. It's kind of the I think it's the profit books. Okay, and then yeah, Eric Fromm is also you have interest. I
Oh.
recommend. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. So yeah, it's Russell's shift from self-focus on the in this part outer
Mhm.
outer interest reflect attentional redirection redirection known remedy for depression. So the therapies like behavioral activation encourage patients to engage with the external world to restore the motivation and reduce rumination, etc. Okay, yeah. So okay, and paragraph 9, please. 9, right? Yeah, 9. Okay, thank you. Yeah.
This is due partly to having discovered what were the things that I most desired and having gradually acquired many of these things. Partly it is due to having successfully dismissed certain objects of desire, such as the acquisition of individual knowledge about something or other as essentially unattainable. But very largely it is due to this diminishing occupation with myself. Like others who had a Puritan education, I had the habit of meditating on my sins, follies, and shortcomings. I sinned to myself, no doubt justly a miserable specimen. Gradually, I learned to be indifferent to myself and my deficiency. I came to center my attention increasingly upon external objects, the state of the world, various branches of knowledge, individuals for whom I felt affection. The external interests, it is true, bring each its own possibility of pain. The world may be plunged in war, now knowledge in some direction may be hard to achieve, friends may die, but pains of these kinds do not destroy the essential quality of life as do those that spring from disgust with self.
Yeah. So, yeah, why is external focus crucial to happiness, and how does it reflect current understanding of attention and well-being?
So he said, from the external uh, interests,
Hmm.
you can get motivation and happiness. Um, and he said the bad things
Hmm.
from external interest doesn't uh, do not destroy the quality of life.
Yeah, yeah.
Whereas um, thinking by himself can
Hmm.
destroy himself.
Right.
I think when people think about their own shortcomings repeatedly,
Hmm.
they become depressed. Um, and they should turn their attention to
Right.
other things
Yeah, yeah.
rather than just focus on depressing things.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. uh, what do you think about this situation? Is also you familiar with your life?
Uh, I think
Mm.
uh, I agree with him because when I'm depressed,
Yeah.
it causes it's caused when I just be at home by myself
Oh,
and
yeah, yeah, yeah.
thinking about why my life is like this.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
my parents said we should go out and get some sunlight
Mm.
because it will improve my mood.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, this book written by 1945 or
Oh,
yeah,
oh,
50. So, but not changed in
yeah.
our life. So that is very amazing, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, yeah. So I think it's a power of the economy. Yeah. So yeah, I. Yeah. Okay. So the okay. Yeah. Let's go. Yeah. Next paragraph 10.
And every external interest inspires some activity which, so long as the interest remains alive, is a complete preventive of any interest in oneself, on the contrary, leads to no activity of a progressive kind.
Hmm.
It may lead to the keeping of a diary, to getting psychoanalysis, or perhaps to becoming
Yeah.
a
This is
monk.
yeah BK style. Yeah.
But the monk will not be happy until the routine of the monastery has
Mm.
made him forget his own soul.
Mm-hmm.
The happiness which he attributes to religion he kept him from becoming a crossing sweeper, provided he were compelled to remain one.
Mm-hmm. It's over?
No.
Yeah.
What is angry?
Uh-oh. Yeah, yeah. New and how is this? Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
answer?
Any, yeah. Are you don't know?
Yeah, I don't know.
Aha. Yeah, yeah. It's a means just the how can I say that? Uh, okay, interest. Yeah. In this text, it's just the uh, emotional condition is very how can I say that? Tribulation, yeah, or etc. Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Just a moment. I have to more the research. Of the, oh, oh. Yi and then you, right? And then you, right. Okay. Yeah, it's a French word that even adapted into English. It describes a feeling of the boredom.
Oh.
Yeah, boredom, listlessness, or the kind of the weary dissatisfaction.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So okay, what does engagement with external tasks reduce in you? And how is this linked to flow theory?
Um, he said that as long as
Mm-hmm.
the external interest remain alive,
Yeah.
it will keep him from or keep him from having ennui.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but if he's self-focused,
Mm-hmm.
said he will not be happy until he forgets his own soul.
Yeah, yeah.
I think he has negative opinions about having interest in oneself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, right. Yeah, it's a meaningful engagement. Province boredom and low mood. Yeah, supported by flow theory. Uh, so yeah, which explains that deep involvement in the tasks boosts joy and focus. Yeah. So modern application that include gamified learning and the workplace engagement strengthens strategies. Yeah. Right. Okay. So yeah. Okay. More. Yeah. I have more the comment of that.
So I think
Yeah.
if you only focus on external interest,
Uh-huh.
I feel like it's kind of um, uh, too dependent on external interest.
Yeah.
Because he should have his own internal strength to
Mm.
motivate.
Yeah. 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 Mm.
Yeah, I think he needs.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. Yeah. So I think so. Yeah. Okay. That's great. Okay. And move to paragraph 11. Yeah.
external discipline is the only road to happiness for those unfortunates whose self-absorption is too profound to be cured in any other way.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, okay. Yeah, why is external discipline necessary for some individuals, and how does this relate to self-regulation that defects in cognitive service science?
Um, so for I think there is a balance. People need balance between external and
Mm.
internal,
Yeah,
but those who are too biased to internal discipline,
that's right.
they maybe need to have some external interest to
Mm-hmm.
uh, balance out their internal and external.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, relation. Uh, so by doing this, they can improve their self-regulation.
yeah, yeah. That's right. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, this reflects the concept of the executive function deficit, right? Yeah. So common in conditions like ADHD, or yeah, or chronic depressions. Yeah, where internal self-control fails to uh, activate the motivation or focus. Yeah. So the structured environments such as the military service, yeah, or the monastic routines, and provide external scaffolding to compensate. Yeah, so that this idea is now implemented in the behavioral intervention programs. Yeah, from addiction recovery structures to school based positive behavior supports. Okay. Mm, okay. Okay. Next paragraph. Yeah, 12, please.
Self-absorption is of
Mm.
various kinds. We may take the sinner, the narcissist, and the megalomaniac as three very common types.
Yeah.
When I speak of the sinner, I do not mean the man who commits sins. Sins are committed by everyone or no one, according to our definition of the word. I mean the man who is absorbed in the consciousness of sin. This man is perpetually incurring his own disapproval, which, if this religion, he interprets as the disapproval of God.
Hmm. Okay, so yeah, what defines the sinner? Personality type, psychological, and how does the guilt interfere with the emotional health?
Um, so, in psychology,
Yeah.
sinner doesn't mean that
Hmm.
people who committed sin, but who I think hate themselves,
Hmm.
because in religion, uh, hating himself
Yeah.
means you're um, kind of disapproving the God.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Particularly, actually, in this time, so uh, the whole social governed by the religious. Yeah. So that yeah, it's a very serious conflict in this time. So that yeah. Okay. Mm. If you have the religion? No, okay. Yeah. Maybe you can't precisely understand yeah, this situation. So that, okay. So yeah, what defines yeah, okay. So that this describes chronic shame based identify. You know, where one's inner critic dominates emotional life. Okay, yeah. So the neuroscience shows the guilt activities, the uh, anterior anterior how can I say the anterior cingulate cortex. You know, yeah. So the which can lead to over monitoring and emotional suppression. Okay, so yeah, therapists like compassion focused therapy, CFT. This is the help reframe toxic shame and trauma, trauma informed religious counseling. So, yeah, address the scrupulosity or unhealthy spiritual guilt. So the okay, a little bit different words. So yeah, okay, yeah, yeah. Okay, and next. Yeah, okay. So, if you have any comment about that, no. Okay, yeah. Let's go to paragraph 13. Okay.
He has an image of himself as it thinks he ought to be, which is in continuing conflict with his knowledge of himself as he is. If in his conscious thought he has long since discarded the maxims that he was taught at his mother's knee, his sense of sin may be buried deep in his unconscious and only emerge when he is drunk or asleep.
Mhm,
Nevertheless, it makes of this to take the savoir out of everything.
mhm,
At bottom, he still accepts all the prohibitions he was taught in infancy: swearing his wheat, drinking his wheat. Ordinary business, drunkenness is wheat. Above all, sex is wheat. He does
mhm,
not, of course, abstain from any of these pleasures, but they are all poison for him by the feeling that they
mhm,
degrade him. The one pleasure that he desires with his whole soul is that of being approvingly cursed by his mother, which he can remember having experienced in childhood.
mhm. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, how does your early mental conditioning, the unresolved guilt, distort adult relationships?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ah, um, so when he's, I think,
Yeah.
he is like locked in his childhood,
Yeah. Yeah.
where his mom uh led him to uh lie lie on her knee and
Oh yeah.
maxims.
Mm.
Um, and even though he doesn't uh keep away from the desires that
That's
he
right.
thought
Mm.
with, um, still has the sense of it's a bad things to do.
Mm.
Uh,
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, Russell uh, describing the Freudian dynamic, but it also aligns with the attachment theory, specifically insecure or the yeah uh, am, ambivalent ambivalent attachment. Yeah, yes, or styles. Yes, yeah. The solve the longing for mental approval becomes a filter through which all other intimacy is evaluated. So the modern therapy addresses this with the inner child work and the emotionally focused therapy, EFT, to heal early relationship wounds. Okay, yeah, yeah. So that yeah, um, yeah. So now is the especially modern day cognitive science is various fields they're applying this theory and yeah. So, but it's the problem is all the problem is the relate to human being, especially their mind or their spirit. Yeah, so that this book is kind of the foundation. Foundation. Yeah. So the okay. Mm, yeah. So you have uh, other comments? No.
actually
Yeah.
really like the attachment theory.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Because
Uh.
I think it was like my first
Mm.
interest from psychology.
Yeah.
I think there's like 4 types of
Uh.
attachment
Yeah.
types, and then among them, only one is the good attachment style.
Mm.
Other things are all problematic.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. That's right. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for your comment. And okay, the paragraph 13.
This pleasure being no longer open to him, he feels that nothing matters.
Mhm.
Since he must sin, he seeks in the conquest of happiness, decides to sin deeply. When he falls in love, he looks for maternal tenderness but cannot accept it because, owing to the mother image, he feels no respect for any woman with whom he has sexual relations.
Mhm.
Then, in his disappointment, he becomes cruel, repents of his cruelty, and starts afresh on the dreary round of imagined sin and real remorse. This is the psychology of very many apparently hard-boiled reprobates.
Mhm.
When drives them astray is devotion to an unattainable object, mother or mother substitute, together with the inculcation in
Yeah.
early years of a ridiculous afterhood.
Mhm.
Liberation from the tyranny of olive leaves and affections is the first step towards happiness for these victims of maternal virtue.
Okay. Thank you. So, how does John resolve the internal conflict between the ideal self and real self? So often rooted in childhood moral conditioning, lead to chronic guilt and emotional paralysis.
Um, so he finds his lack of love from his mother
Yeah.
to another woman that he met, and he finds guilty because there's no respect for women
Hmm.
to look
Yeah.
motherness from them, and uh, and he becomes
Mm.
cruel, and maybe he behaved badly to the woman,
That's right. Yeah.
and he feels remorse and regrets.
Hmm. So you agree?
Uh,
Not totally.
um,
Yeah. So what's different?
um, I never
Yeah.
seen anyone like
Oh,
that.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's right. Yeah. Yeah, it's a little bit different culture code. So that, yeah, okay, yeah. But how about the liberation from the tyranny? Who is the tyranny? Yeah, you. Oh, yeah, really? Okay. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, most children. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Oh my. Yeah, me too. Now also. Thank you. Okay, and next paragraph. Mm.
Narcissism is, in a sense, the converse of an habitual sense of sin.
Mhm.
It consists in the habit of admiring oneself and wishing to be admired. Up to a point, it is, of course, normal and not to be ignored.
Mm.
It is only in its excesses that it becomes a grave evil. In many women, especially rich society women, the capacity for feeling love is completely dried up and is replaced by a powerful desire that all men should love them.
Mhm.
When a woman of this kind is sure that a man loves her, she has no further use for him. The same thing occurs, though less frequently, with men. A
Mhm.
classic example is the hero of Theosis Dangerouses.
Mhm.
When vanity is carried to this height, there is no genuine interest in any other person, and therefore no real satisfaction to be obtained from love.
Okay. So yeah, why does the pursuit of mental tenderness in adult romantic relationships often lead to disappointment and repetition of guilt cycles?
Uh, um, so they, I think they have have no.
Yeah, just you think. It's not your experience. So, yeah, okay. Yeah.
They have no real satisfaction
Yep.
in love.
Mm-hmm.
Since they love themselves too much.
Yeah.
They don't know how to
Mm.
love each other
Mm.
or getting real love.
Yeah, yeah.
Also, I think since they're spoiled because of money,
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Okay.
they easily just stick up everything.
Mm-hmm.
I think they have no real purpose in love.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. Especially, yeah, yeah, particularly, yeah, these days is, yeah. So, maybe, as possible as you know about this concept of the sin, because you live in USA, right? Yeah, yeah, in the
No,
future.
I live in Korea.
Oh, you live in Korea?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, your university is now.
Oh, USC, but I'm going on August.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
then, yeah, in the future.
In the
Yeah, so
future,
then, yeah,
yeah.
okay. So that you have no as possible as precisely know about the this concept.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you just dominate in or the house.
Uh, in US.
Yeah, in US.
I think I will live in dorms.
Dorms. Yeah, yeah. But anyway, so you contact many, especially the regional USA, US people. They have this concept, traditional concept, so that sometimes you talk with them. What? Suddenly, yeah. Many people they very how can I say? How can I say? 그 아, 자유를 많이 누린다고 생각하지만, yeah, but they have many barriers, you know. Okay, so yeah, so that is the pillar of the yeah this sinner concept. So okay, yeah. Okay, so yeah, this is classic expression of the object relations theory. Yeah, where an unreserved attachment to the mother creates unrealistic expectations in adult intimacy, right? Yeah, so the cognitive behavioral patterns rooted in the repetition compulsion cause the person to relive the cycles of guilt, so the disappointment and the punishment. So modern therapy, especially attachment-based therapy, helps individuals recognize these dynamics and create the secure adult relation models. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So you have the opinion?
Not
Not okay. Yeah. Thank you. And next to the paragraph 14, if you need to take rest.
No, I think
No.
I'm
Okay. Yeah.
Other interests fail even more disastrously.
Hmm.
Nurses, for example, inspired by the homage paid to great painters, may become an art student, but as painting is for him a mere means to an end, the technique never becomes interesting, and no subject can be seen except in relation to self. The result is failure and disappointment with ridicule instead of the expected adulation.
Hmm.
The same thing applies to those novelists whose novels always have themselves idealized as heroes. All serious success in work depends upon some genuine interest in the material with which the work is concerned. The tragedy of one successful politician after another is the gradual substitution of narcissism for an interest in the community and the measures for which he stands.
Hmm.
The man who is only interested in himself is not admirable and is not felt to be so.
Yeah. So, yeah, why does the narcissistic approach to work or art lead to failure, and what cognitive mechanisms are involved?
So people are only interested in a subject that is related to themselves,
Yeah.
and they never feel interest in techniques or paintings, um, which means they not really love their jobs.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it will eventually lead to failure because they only really care about themselves and um, not their what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And also as a novelist, they
Mm.
also idealize themselves as heroes. Um, and they don't have genuine interest.
Yeah.
Um, because in order to be success,
Mm-hmm.
people need genuine interest in what they're doing, but
That's right.
they don't have one. So
Yeah, yeah. That's right. Yeah. So Russell, yeah, identifies the instrumental motivation. Yeah. So fallacy, uh, pursuing the takes over solely for recognition that undermines the deep engagement and the creativity. So that this aligns with the self-determination theory. Yeah.
oh,
Yeah. So which shows that lack of instinctive motivation leads to under performance and burnout. Yeah. So the modern applications included purpose-driven design in education and meaning-based career coaching. Yeah, and encouraging work driven by internal rather than external applause. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And next paragraph.
Consequently, the man whose sole concern with the world is that it shall admire him is not likely to achieve his object. But
Mm-hmm.
even if he does, he will not be completely happy since human instinct is never completely self-centered, and the narcissist is limiting himself artificially just as truly as is the man dominated by a sense of self. The primitive man might be proud of being a good hunter, but he also enjoyed the activity of the chase.
Mm-hmm.
Vanity, when it passes beyond the point, feels pleasure in every activity for its own sake, and thus leads inevitably to listlessness and boredom.
Mm-hmm.
Often its source is diffidence, and its cure lies in the growth of self-respect.
Mm-hmm.
But this is only to be gained by successful activity inspired by object interest.
Yeah. So yeah, he does extreme vanity or self-centeredness, sabotage happiness, and what role does self-respect play in recovery?
Um, I think I think it's similar to the world.
Yeah.
When he reached a certain point, they no longer feels pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so it's that the primitive man
Mm-hmm.
uh, gets his pleasure as being a good hunter, but also enjoy the activity of chase itself.
That's right.
Um, so even though they become successful,
Mm-hmm.
uh, they no longer get pleasure from being successful
Yeah.
because they need that process of being successful.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Um,
right. Yeah. So yeah, excessive vanity uh, lead to hedonic adaptation and boredom. As external approval loses its rewarding power.
yeah.
Yeah. So studies show that self-respect builds through mastery and value-based activities restore instinct, uh, in, intrinsic joy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, maybe so. Yeah, program in youth development and executive coaching.
Mhm.
Yes, increasingly teach goals setting rooted in internal values to foster resilience and purpose. Yeah. Um, so yeah, if you have the self respect, what do you think of the if you have a
Uh,
personal experience or the
respect.
yeah.
I think.
Hmm.
Uh, I think I'm very
Yeah.
external
Uh-huh.
interested
Uh-huh.
rather than self-respect.
Yeah. External.
Yeah.
Are you okay? uh, yeah, yeah. Anyway, okay, thank you. Okay, let's go. Yeah. Next, move to next. Okay.
The megalomania
Yeah.
differs from the narcissist by the fact that he wishes to be powerful rather than charming,
Hmm.
and seeks to be feared rather than loved. To
Hmm.
this type belong many lunatics and most of the great men in history. Love of power, like vanity, is a strong element in normal human nature and as such is to be accepted. It
Hmm.
becomes deplorable only when it is excessive or associated with an insufficient sense of reality.
Hmm.
Where this occurs, it makes man unhappy or foolish if not both. The
Hmm.
lunatic who thinks he is crowned at maybe in a sense happy, but his happiness is none of a kind that any sane person would envy.
Hmm.
Alexander the Great was a philosopher of the same time as the lunatic, though he possessed the talent to achieve the lunatic's dream. He could
Hmm.
not, however, achieve his own dream, which enlarged its scope as his achievement grew. When it became clear that he was the greatest conqueror known to fame, he decided he was a god.
Hmm.
Was he a happy man? His drunkenness, his furious rages, his indifference to women, and his claim to divinity suggested he was
Okay. So, how does um, megalomania developed from early humiliation, and why does it ultimately fail to bring satisfaction?
not. So those megalomaniacs
Yeah.
are they love power
Mm-hmm.
and they want to conquer everything as Alexander the Great did,
Mm-hmm.
but they never feel satisfaction because his greedy becomes bigger and bigger,
Mm-hmm.
and um, even though he became the greatest conqueror
Yeah.
and he claimed himself as God, he was not happy because everything else other than power
Yeah.
was uh, missing in his life.
Mm-hmm. Right. So yeah, megalomania arise as compensatory mechanisms for only inferiority. So they're often marked by grandiose self-concept and power-seeking behavior.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, however, this inflated sense of control fails
Mm-hmm.
under real-world constraints, leading to frustration and collapse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, today, executive leadership so sorry, executive.
Oh, okay.
Executive,
Uh-huh.
yeah, executive leadership development issues that includes self-awareness modules to address uh, ego traps and teach humility and the adaptive leadership.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so the okay. So uh, you have other comment?
Um, I think
Yeah.
it's kind of
Mm.
is it megalomania
Yeah.
psychological um problem?
That's right. Especially in Korea recently. Yeah. But it's not negative, but yeah, in Korea it's distorted about that concept. So, okay. Yeah. uh, so you dissatisfied? No problem. Okay. Yeah. Uh, uh, and next, okay, paragraph 18, 19, 19, 18, which
19.
is right. Yeah, okay, 19. Mm.
There is no ultimate satisfaction in the cultivation of one element of human nature at the expense of all of the others, not in viewing all the world as raw material for the magnificence of one's own ego.
Mm.
Usually, the megalomania, whether insane or nominally insane, is the product of some excessive humiliation.
Mhm.
Napoleon suffered a school from inferiority to his schoolfellows who were rich aristocrats, while he was a penurious scholarship boy. When he allowed the return of the emigres, he
Mm.
had the satisfaction of seeing his former schoolfellows bowing down before him. But please, yet it led to the wish to obtain a similar satisfaction at the expense of the Caesar, and
Mhm.
this led to Saint Helena. Since
Yeah,
women
yeah.
can be omnipotent, a life dominated wholly by love of power can hardly fail, sooner or later, to meet with obstacles that cannot be overcome.
Yeah. Um, yeah. Why is the repression, whether psychological and political, an obstacle to true happiness?
Um, so, Napoleon
Yeah.
was bullied by his schoolfellows because he was poor and other people were rich aristocrats,
Yeah.
and uh, this lack of um, love and recognition kind
Mm-hmm.
of shaped him as megalomania.
Yeah.
And since men are not uh, omnipotent,
Mm-hmm.
so uh, they will fail uh, the um, in the future,
Yeah.
and they'll meet obstacles that they cannot overcome.
Mm-hmm. Right. Okay. Yeah. So a repression about that Caesars and let's include and next paragraph is also this. So yeah, one more please. Yeah. In this question, include the next paragraph also. So yeah.
Mhm. The knowledge that this is so can only be prevented from obtruding on unconsciousness by
Mm-hmm.
some form of lunacy.
Mm-hmm.
Though if a man is sufficiently great, he can imprison or execute those who point this out to him.
Yeah.
Repressions in the political and in the psychoanalytic senses, thus go hand in hand. And
Mm-hmm.
wherever psychoanalytic repression in any marked form takes place, there is no genuine happiness. Power kept within its proper bounds may add greatly to happiness, but as the sole end of life, it leads to disaster inwardly, if not outwardly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, the repression, whether psychological and political, an obstacle of true happiness.
Mm-hmm.
So that repression, yeah.
Um, so
Mm-hmm.
if he has a sufficient power
Yeah.
to imprison or execute those who go against them,
Mm-hmm.
um, uh, it makes that person to be a monster.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Right.
It leads to bigger faster rather than real happiness
Yeah,
because he's abusing his power
yeah,
to
that's right.
yeah.
Mm. Yeah, totally agree with to your opinion. Okay, yeah, yeah. Yeah, we recently is the experience about that. Okay. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So yeah, repression prevents emotional processing and integration. Psychological research shows the suppressed emotional, the increased psychological stress. Yeah. So the while repressed political realistic. Yeah, created a collective cognitive dissonance, right? Yeah, so the in personal growth and governance, yeah, practice like emotional literacy training and true and reconciliation initiatives aim to restore well-being by addressing what was one silenced, right? Yeah. Okay. Okay. And next paragraph.
The psychological causes of unhappiness, it is clear, are many and various, but all have something in common. The typical unhappy man is one who, having been deprived in youth of some normal satisfaction, has come to value this one kind of satisfaction more than any other, and has therefore given to his life a one-sided direction, together with a quite undue emphasis upon the achievement as opposed to the activities um, connected with it. There is, however, a further development which is very common in the present day. A man may feel so completely thwarted that he seeks no form of satisfaction but only distraction and oblivion. He then becomes a devotee of pleasure. That is to say, he seeks to make life bearable by becoming less alive. Drunkenness, for example, is temporary suicide. The happiness that it brings is merely negative, a momentary cessation of happiness.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what core do unhappy individuals tend to make in the way that pursue fulfillment?
They try to
Mm-hmm.
escape from the life by being drunk
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
because when they're drunk, they can
Yeah.
temporarily forget all their concerns and unhappiness,
That's right.
but it rather makes
Mm.
worse their life.
Yeah.
Maybe I think that's why people
Mm.
become addicted to the
That's right. Yeah.
alcohol because
Yeah.
temporarily they can
Mm.
feel they're free and happy, but after that they
Yeah.
become super depressed.
Mm-hmm. How about you? I sometimes just makgeolli. Of course, not heavy drink, but yeah. Anyways, okay, that's right. His observation matches goal. Yeah, goal rigidity theory. Fixating on one unmet need. Yeah, for example, love, power. Yeah, leads to life imbalance. So that self complexity, the guys, theory shows that yeah, uh, diverse shifted interests both yeah and against the psychological collapse. Yeah, so. But just a moment, please. Okay. Hey guys. Sorry. What you need? Oh my. Just a moment. Yeah. Just 5 minutes here. 거기 쉬고 있어. Yeah. Okay. 일단. Here you go. Yeah. Okay. So modern resilience training helps the individuals build multi faced yeah, identified the embrace adaptive the goal setting over obsessive the achievement. Yeah, so the okay. Mm, yeah, right. Yeah, especially. Oh, yeah. Recently, so the condition of the how can I say the addictive problems is very serious. Yeah, various 종류도 많고. So the 매우 걱정스러워. Yeah, that's right. Okay, and next paragraph, please.
The narcissists and the megalomaniac believe that happiness is possible, though they may adopt mistaken means of achieving it.
Mm.
But the man who seeks intoxication in whatever form has given up hope except in oblivion. In this case, the first thing to be done is to persuade him that happiness is desirable.
Mhm.
Men who are unhappy, like men who sleep badly, are always proud of the fact. Perhaps their pride is like that of the fox who had lost his tail. If so, the way to cure it is to point out how they can grow a new tail. Very few men, I believe, will deliberately choose unhappiness if they see a way of being happy.
Mhm.
I do not deny that such men exist, but they are not sufficiently numerous to be important.
Mhm.
I shall therefore assume that the reader would rather be happy than unhappy.
Mhm.
Whether I can help him to realize this wish, I do not know. But at any rate, the attempt can do no harm.
Okay. What is the first step in helping those who have resigned themselves to unhappy?
To make them realize that
Mhm.
how to become happy,
Mhm.
as teach fox to how to grow a new tail.
Yeah.
Because often men are unhappy,
Mhm.
are proud of their unhappiness.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, yeah, that's great. Yeah, you are not God. So he is also right. Yeah, but he emphasizes hope, induction, right? Yeah. So the belief that the happiness is still possible. Yeah, but this is foundational in trauma recovery. Yeah, and behavioral activation therapist, right? So today, yeah, therapists use positive psychology to instill the belief in changing. Yeah, and digital tools like the mood gym, U-boat, and provide early interventions that reawaken the drive for well-being. Yeah. Okay. So from now you can summarize, the whole text now. Yeah. uh, uh, what time? What minutes take the you need the yeah
should I write?
yeah
Maybe like 20.
20 minutes. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Here's yours. Thank you. And then maybe this pen is so soft.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.